Camp was there from the very beginning as a way of doing a couple things. One is giving responsibility to the kids really early. Camp was probably the first place I had, after taking care of my sister, camp was probably the first place I had true responsibility. At 16, nowadays it's in 18, I was the program director at 16 or 17, I think. One of the first camps, second or third camps. You had to design a whole evening. You were responsible for 8 kids. It was a management exercise. As you got older, you were managing other counselors. Not until many years after college, when I was managing a department in my job at Wall Street, did I have the same level of responsibility. You don't realize it at the time. It just seems really stressful and really fun. But really, by the time I got to Wall Street and was managing a couple of people, I got the sense that, oh yeah, there are actually considerable parallels. Responsibility is responsibility. And camp developed both the fun aspect and the responsible aspect. And ultimately all went back to reinforce the community aspect, that we're all about, shared values. Because that's ultimately, how RSM spreads to this day.
Going back to the history of Camp RSM, I think we really succeed in passing these traditions and identities to our children, at least who are being exposed to this environment. Probably 8 years ago or so, or maybe more, one of our parents wrote a poem. It was a sort of joke, as usually we do in our community. But the poem called Dom RSM, or Home RSM, or House RSM, if you wish. It was about the beginning, how RSM actually started and how many people were getting involved in this more and more, and how we try to pass this tradition to our children. Because the whole idea about this was not only mathematics, but also to keep our children within our traditions. And so this camp became continuation of this Dom RSM, with the same people who were coming here to help to build. And as I always had idea and dreams about the camp. Many people who thinking to buy the camp or to start business like camp romanticize this idea, thinking that in somewhere in a beautiful environment you can put cabins and bring water from the pond, and here we are. I don't know if we realize that, but I remember Ina's mom said, if something difficult, or if it is difficult for my Ina, then it's impossible for someone else. I think she was right, because it's a dividable part of the school, or an idea which she tried to bring into the school. I don't think it was possible to accomplish, to pass our traditions just within a city environment without this place. We start renting camps. One of this place was very old and rundown rundown place. We were very happy that they agreed to rent this place to us, and in 10 days of camping, camp lost its water. It was a big drought at that time. For a small community like this, where you have 200 people on the grounds with no water, it's probably impossible to operate. And here we are, we have to have leaders who have to decide what to do. Call parents and close this camp and tell them that we are sorry, it didn't work out, or find a solution. And we found solution quite simple, actually. We start buying water in the store, for drinking and cooking. We use lake water for swimming and washing, obviously. And the third most important thing is flushing toilets. 100 years ago, children didn't have any flushing toilets. But many people in this business are engineers, so they said it's very simple. We can bring water and fill toilets with water and flush toilets with no problems. Counselors really like it, and kids turn this disaster into the really fun and a real business. Kids actually did everything, drinking water and so on. At exactly the same time, New Hampshire camp inspector came to inspect the camp, and we told him that we have no water in the wells. When he saw what's going on in the camp, he was speechless for a little while, and he said, I never seen it, and I've been inspector for 40 years. Did you guys came from the military or some other background? And now we know him for so many years. He helped us a lot with advices, and he actually found this place and helped us to buy it. He also, by the way, mentioned one interesting thing. He said, Inessa, I always see A4E in the camps, when children are so happy and enthusiastic. It's everyone, every camp has it. But your children are different and camp is different. Is that because you have Russian background or it's something else? I don't remember how she explained it, but I have explanation that our children inspired with these ideas which we pass on to them. They have this very deep spirit inside. They coming here from year to year, most of them, core. They become counselors, and they are very proud. Then they walk this path, and they are counselors now. And here we are. We have everything on our own. Our water, our drain system, our sewage, whatever.
Almost 10 years ago, we met Bruce Charpentier, who owned this place, and he believed that his legacy will continue on. When he met Ina, he was a very charismatic person, and so she is. And she said, I believe you can do this. I don't want to sell camp to anyone who doesn't have guts to do this and who doesn't have this inspiration. I want to see this camp from year to year when kids are coming here and they're happy. And I believe her charisma actually made it possible.